it's just 30, but enjoy your 20s. I think in my reflection, I took my 20s way too serious. Like, I took my 20s very, very seriously, and I could have slowed down and enjoyed them a little bit more. So be in the moment. Definitely look forward to your 30s, because now that I'm not in my 30s yet, but
we are T-minus 6 days. Yeah,
I'm almost 30, so
you're closer
to 30
than anything else.
About turning 30, because I feel like even with all the changes and going with the flow, like, I am more willing to accept, like, Louise, like, you figuring it out. Like, you don't have to have it figured out. But in my 20s, it was like, no, like, nigga, you need to have this figured out today, because you're only going to get older and you need to do this and you have to get your degrees. You have to get this. So I was more strict and rigid, like, with myself and where I was. But now it's like, you got time. Like, slow down. You'll be all right. Figure it out. You're going to make mistakes. So what? Deal with it. So.
You're the one I want to go to when I'm going crazy, yeah. By my side every night, boo. Forever my lady, yeah. Be my partner in crime, Bonnie and Clyde. Have the ride of your life, babe. Can't you see you were made for me?
What's up, family? We have missed you. We are back with another episode of We Need to Talk. I am Justin, one of your wonderful co-hosts and your favorite Crew Excellence member. Mm-hmm. Who are you? You got to tell the people who you are.
You can. I am Louise.
That's it? That's it?
That's all.
This is my wife, Louise. And we are your hosts, so We Need to Talk, where we talk about relationship stuff and anything else we want to talk about. So, we have missed you all. We have been gone for a little over a month now. Probably been like 2 months now. Yeah, because we didn't record any in October. And then November.
Oh, we did the Instagram live.
Yeah, we did. We went live on Instagram.
We did it twice.
Yeah, so this is the first time we've been back on YouTube. How y'all have been doing? You know, leave a comment. Talk about how your last few months have gone. Tell us if it's been good, bad. Are you ready for 2022? You know, like, those are all things that I want to see in the comments. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe so you'll get more content. I'm feeling good about us moving into the next year. I think we got some really dope content coming out for you. So that's exciting. You got a cooties?
Mm-mm.
All right,
I can think of one. Do you have one?
I always have one.
Yeah, I thought about that, but you didn't mention it, so I didn't know if you still were going to do it.
We always do
you can
cooties.
go first, and I can think of one.
You want to come back to it? Or you think you'll think of one quick?
I can think of one pretty quick.
All right, so I'll explain the game while you're thinking. And I will go first still. Cooties is a game where we to see who knows more. You know what I'm saying? Me about women, which I know everything, or Louise about men, which she knows nothing.
That's not true.
Okay? And so we play this game that I always win, but she loves to compete, and I love her for it. And we go like this. So I asked her a question that I think that she will know or should know about men, and vice versa. All right? That sound about right? I miss anything?
Nope, all good.
All right.
I have my question.
You want to go first then?
It doesn't matter.
Go ahead, you can go.
Okay, so obviously with trends and all things, they always repeat themselves. Like, trends will come back typically. So we see it in, like, fashion with, like, bell bottoms and plaids and all those things.
She about to ask
and
me
we
something
also see it
y'all.
in hair.
Yep.
So, like, when girls used to wear a swoop, or like the little braids that go like that, which are not my favorite, but they're back around, so people are wearing them. So my question to you is, do you know what the middle part is? Like, when girls wear it? Mm-hmm. Okay. And, like, what styles they wear it with?
A middle part? Yeah, you can part in the middle.
You can wear it here straight. Yeah. The only time I wear a middle part is, like, I've only worn it a few times.
Like 2 puffs, you could do a middle part.
Yeah, that's a middle part. I guess it counts. But, like, there's a part right here, like, when I wear my hair puffy and curly, and that's just how my hair was already braided. Or when I'm doing a low bun, which I've only worn once, where my hair was straight enough to fit in the low bun with the middle part in the front. But anyway, okay, so when was the middle part popular? Before it came back around now, when was it popular?
The 90s.
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
Close, 80s. So maybe it was 80s to the 90s, but what I looked up said 80s. But you might be right. It might have, like, trickled over into 1990. So that was a good answer.
Okay.
Okay, your turn.
I told y'all she was supposed to ask me some bull.
That's not bull. Well, I didn't know until I looked it up.
Exactly.
I knew that it was popular before because I'm like, I was born in the 90s, so I'm like, I knew that it was recent. But yeah.
Okay.
What's your question?
What is the title or job occupation name for someone who runs a construction site?
Who runs a construction site, like the construction manager? What is their title?
Yeah, there's like a technical term for them. So it'd be like the person who's over like other people and all that kind of stuff.
The chief.
No, he's not
a construction
Native American.
manager was my answer. So I'm like, you go to
chief.
school when you want to manage construction, you get a construction manager, construction management certificate. So I don't know. That's all I had.
Yeah, the answer.
When I said construction manager, and you say yeah, but there's another title. I knew that I wasn't going to get it.
Yeah, it's a foreman.
Oh yeah, I was never going to get that.
Have you ever heard that title?
I've heard of it before, but it's not what I would have ever thought about.
Got you.
Yeah.
So nothing.
What?
You didn't like that construction manager was on a guess.
Yeah, because I thought that's what the certificate was called.
What's it? You don't need a certificate.
That's what when people go and want to do that, that's what they pursue. Construction management.
Yeah. But like you can be a foreman with just trade experience.
Yeah, it is. You can't go to trade school.
Yeah. So
yeah, I was not gonna get there. I was not even close.
That's
Chief was a reach, but it was at least something is better than nothing. Like when you just go through and click all the answers before you submit the test.
I've never done that before.
Was. Oh yeah, you don't leave anything blank. But yeah.
All right, y'all. So I want to talk about today a little bit about where we've been, what we've got going on, and we got someone on the podcast that's approaching their dirty 30. And so we're going to talk about the roaring 20s and looking back in review and just chop it up a little bit with y'all. We probably won't be here too long today, but it should be good nonetheless. All right.
Okay.
So Big Crit Ray Ray.
My name is just Louise. I don't know why he doesn't want to call me that in front of everyone.
It's Big Crit.
Okay, what is your question?
You turn 30 next week.
I turn 30
in
really
less
soon. I'm
than
really,
7 days.
Excited about it. Yes.
What does that mean for you? What is that? Talk to me.
I don't know. It means just another birthday, kinda. I'm excited about turning 30, but I don't know. I've never been 30 before, so I don't know. It's like it's supposed to be a new chapter, from what I'm feeling and what I've heard. Like it's just a new decade, a chance to figure you out all over again.
Okay. And so, what are some things that you've already been kind of moving towards or figuring out? Like, as you near 30, what are some things that you see turning or are shifting in your life?
This is a hard question. I needed to take notes before I got here. I needed the warning so I could have some bullet points.
I need them to get the raw. I want the raw.
But the raw could also be a nothing. It could be a no answer given because I don't know. Okay, some things that I've been moving towards.
Yeah, shifting. Yeah, what are some things you got going on in your life as you head towards 30?
I don't know. I don't know. That's a hard question. Maybe everything.
You have everything going on.
It seems like it. Like just pursuing different things, figuring out more about myself, being willing to just experience and let that be it. Like not holding so tight to what was before or just certain things in general. So just kind of going with the flow, which is not my norm because I like definitive things. I prefer certainty, and it's more like, let's just see where this takes us. Let's just see what 30 is about.
Okay, so that's cool. And as you look back at your roaring 20s,
I don't like that you call
it's
them
a roaring 20s.
It's not.
You look back at your roaring
it's
20s.
Not the roaring 20s.
What's some takeaways you have from that? You know what I'm saying? You did a decade of the 20s.
I was 20
so
for a long
what's
time.
Your perspective on the 20s?
I was 20 for
if I'm someone watching and I'm,
Goodness.
you know what I'm saying, I'm 22, you know what I'm saying, 23 or whatever.
Yeah.
What are some things I should be doing or looking forward to?
Okay, I have an answer. I get it. So enjoy your youth. 20s is pretty young. I feel like 30 is still on the younger end. Like, it's not ancient or old yet. It's just 30. But enjoy your 20s. I think in my reflection, I took my 20s way too serious. Like, I took my 20s very, very seriously. And I could have slowed down and enjoyed them a little bit more. So be in the moment. Definitely look forward to your 30s because now that I'm not in my 30s yet, but
we are T-minus 6 days. Yeah,
I'm almost 30, so
you're closer
to 30 than
anything else.
About turning 30 because I feel like even with all the changes and going with the flow, like I am more willing to accept like Louise, like you figuring it out, like you don't have to have it figured out. But in my 20s, it was like, no, like, nigga, you need to have this figured out today because you're only going to get older and you need to do this and you have to get your degrees. You have to get this. So I was more strict and rigid, like, with myself and where I was. But now it's like, you got time. Like, slow down. You'll be all right. Figure it out. You're going to make mistakes. So what? Deal with it. So, and then I also feel like in your 20s, you think you are living because you kind of are. But then in my 30s, it's like, I'm not going to be as broke as I was in my 20s. Like,
God willing.
Oh, nigga,
Lord
it's not.
willing.
The Lord is willing because we're not doing that another 10 year. I don't know what. Yeah, okay. So I won't be as broke in my 30s as I was in my 20s. Like the whole struggling college student era, being not having enough money to do things that I thought I wanted to do, or even things that I knew that I wanted to pursue. So it's like turning that corner of like, okay, now you are older and more mature. And I've talked to women who are like in their 40s and 40, just turned 40 and 50. They're like, oh, you still young. And I'm like, not that much though. Like I have a little more wisdom, a little more experience. So enjoy your 20s. Learn what you can. Pursue your interests. Like just do it. Like just do stuff. Don't live so much by not legalism. That's not the word I'm looking for. Don't live so much by what you think should happen. Like by 21 I want this, by 23 I need this. Like those deadlines are really, really flexible and it's no pressure.
Yeah.
Like it's no competition, which I already live by that in general, but it's no pressure to perform or to do certain things and be a certain person.
Yeah.
Like there's grace for you to figure it out.
Yeah. No, I think that's probably the hardest part about being 20 now, being in your 20s now. Can you not fondle my microphone?
It was like, it's a dent right here. So I just didn't know what it was, but go ahead.
I mean, see, it's okay.
You don't want to put this right here.
Yeah, because we're trying to improve our audio quality. We're trying to get better at our craft. But better one thing, one thing about our 20s that I think is different now if someone's 20. I think now it's so much easier to compare. I think, like, it's so crazy to think about, like, a decade ago. Like, I don't think, I'm trying to think if Instagram existed. It had to be, like, just beginning.
Like when I was in college?
So it had to be, like, on the beginning of Instagram, right? Like, wasn't a lot of video content on Instagram.
I don't know, but I remember having Instagram.
Yeah, and I scrolled and looked at our pictures, and I was like, yeah, this wasn't.
I'm weak.
It wasn't no such thing. Like people wasn't curating content.
No,
like,
for sure.
It wasn't really
but kinda, cause I have like one of my very first posts, like an old post, is like a picture of some locks. And it was like from a lock only page. Like all they posted was like people with locks and pictures of people with locks. Yeah. And this was probably right before I started mine. So I was like, this is goals. So kind of, but not as much.
Yeah, it was rare. I don't even know if Instagram was monetized, like monetizable.
I wouldn't think so.
Yeah, so like,
no.
Fast forward to a decade later, when being a content creator is a legitimate job.
Yeah, that's what you desire.
Which it's so much easier to think that that's how you're supposed to be. Like you're supposed to be like the people who are creating content, with a photographer, with a engineer, like you're supposed to look like them and be making the money they make and have the freedom they have. But a lot of times what you miss in your 20s, what I think you should be involved in your 20s is starting to figure out the process and just loving that part of life. Like whatever, like being able to process. So like whatever goals or dreams you have, chasing them, right? But not being so concerned with the destination.
It's like making it.
Yeah, but being more controlled, be more focused on the journey. Like,
that's a good point, but it's kind of, how does that work with like going to college and like pursuing those kind of things? So it's like even playing sports is like the point is the end goal. Well, not the things that you're doing in the process sometimes.
Yeah, well, I think what happens and what I've seen is like, especially because, so in my 20s is all about pivoting. I've done so many different things in my 20s.
You have?
Yeah. When you look at my receipts from my 20s, I've done a lot of different things. And so I think pivoting is so important. And so that's what I mean by like loving the process, because ultimately, I think sometimes our goals get real specific, and I don't think there's nothing wrong with specific goals. Yeah, I think you can reach for them and chase them, but I think sometimes our goals are so specific they don't allow us to grow or change. Yeah, and so like I look at I'm 29. A decade ago I was 19. What I wanted at 19, I don't want anymore at 29. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I think that's sometimes a problem, and I've gotten better with setting goals, but they are very much like, I'm going to work out 3 times per day. I'm going to write a chapter 1 of my dissertation, like things I should be doing anyway, but that I need to like set a goal. So it's like, Louise, like, remember, this is something that you accomplish, because I'm not, some people are like very much goal driven, like I'm going to call 200 people. And I'm like, cool, like that's good for you, but that's not how I am. Like I'm very much like sometimes big picture. Then the small goal to get, the small steps are the goals to get there. So that is, in people, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, because like, I think I seen a quote the other day. It was like, the 20s is when you learn the process and the 30s is when you execute. And so like, that's kind of where I'm at, is like trying to turn that corner towards execution. Especially as someone who's like, considers myself like a creative or like a thought leader, like, going from just ideation to knocking out process and executing consistently.
But do you think you did the process part in your 20s though?
Oh yeah, man, I've processed a lot. Like, like I said, if I look back a decade ago, like I've grown and matured so much in the process part of my life. So I think sometimes in the 20s we get so caught up in the big goal, and it can. I honestly think it's because in our community, the people that get the spotlight are people that seem to have instantaneous fame. And so like athletes and entertainers often seem to pop up overnight. Like you go from being, like you think of like, I think of like basketball players, football players, whatever. Like you go from being 18, 19 to being a millionaire. You know what I'm saying? Like, or in football, you got to wait till you're 22. And even I look back at 22, that's still super young to be given $30 million. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And not only be given all this money, but to be to have your end goal already. So like rappers, I'll grow up, I want to be a rapper. Well, at 19, now you're a rapper. You're doing shows, you selling merch, so it's like for us on the outside looking in, it's like, shoot, where they process at? They already made it. And so we think that our stuff should be the same, not realizing like it's way more people who are successful in their 40s and 50s than there are who are in their 20s.
Yeah, I was talking to a friend, Crystal, actually, and she was like, I already know that I'm going to make it like later in life. Like I'm okay. I think in one of her songs she says that like when I'm 40 or 50, but that is true. Like sometimes people can rush that desire for success. But I would, it's social media age probably. Yeah. Because you think you want it now, you think you're ready now. Yeah. And then seeing people who are your age, are close to your age, already having it. It's like, well, what's the difference between them and me? Like, and I can do that too.
And a lot of times, what we don't want to admit is the difference between them and us is they work harder. Yeah. And so,
sometimes you may not see that work. And sometimes
that's the hard part.
Sometimes you may not see the work. And honestly, sometimes people are just have better circumstances. They have a different opportunity because if, let's say, I don't even know an example that we would have in common. But I was going to say like, okay, let's say Dr. Joy DeGruy.
That's the girl from Arizona State.
She does research in post-traumatic. Okay, so let's say this famous researcher, before they were famous, this researcher was given an opportunity to conduct world-changing research. Of course, they're going to be rich and have be well-known and all those things because they were given the opportunity, as opposed to someone who may be equally brilliant, same experiences, like same accolades and all that, but they don't have the opportunity. So sometimes I think it's not just work ethic, but like what's in front of you, what's given.
Yeah, I think it's usually a combination of work ethic and environment.
Yeah.
I don't think that people that don't have the work ethic but in the right environment have sustainable success. Mm-hmm. But I also think people that have work ethic but aren't in the right environment have opportunities for success. So I don't disagree there. Yeah, I think it goes both ways. But I'm especially, so this is one thing that I think when I was thinking about is usually like social media. When we talk about comparison and stuff like that, mm-hmm. a lot of the people that are really doing really well on social media, their work ethic's crazy. Like I'm in this like YouTube masterclass right now.
How much content they create?
He talking about he was making 8 YouTube videos in a day. Yeah. Like that. Like, so just think about, and he was doing that for 2 years before his channel took off.
This is how I know that it's a difference in passion, because nothing about that like excites me. You making 8 YouTube videos per day for 2 years?
Yeah, and so like
that is not like, nigga, I'm not to get on here and make these. It's like, I'm gonna get on here. Like, I guess I gotta record some more. Like that is wild to me.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Like what? But that's work ethic. That's really good work ethic.
Yes, like, and it's the dedication. And the thing is, he was actually doing too much because YouTube only notifies you 3 times a day when someone makes a video. So he had to scale down. Yeah, and still was producing.
He was plus 3 videos per day.
Exactly. And so my thing is like,
I put them on the schedule, and we not create nothing else for the next year.
Yeah, and what's crazy? So like, and yesterday, so I'm like I said, I'm in his YouTube masterclass, and so yesterday he showed what he made just from YouTube, just AdSense, mm-hmm. not merch deals, not brand deals, just AdSense, and he made 70 racks this year just from AdSense, mm-hmm. right? So we see that, and we go, shoot, I'm about to get that tomorrow. Yeah. What he's doing is he's like, no, I'm not flexing. I'm showing you that if you commit to this process, this is what's possible.
Yeah. That's true, but it takes a certain type of person.
Yeah, for sure. Mm-hmm.
And I think sometimes that's the downside of that, like those kind of things, because it's like, well, I'm a YouTuber and we all gonna YouTube, and it's like, maybe like you should try it and see if it's your thing, but it creates like a prototype. Like now everybody is doing this one thing, and it's not necessarily for everybody. I don't think, not at just YouTube, but you can do that with any, like basketball or sports or teaching or being a doctor or science. Like you can do that with anything, but it creates this not expectation, because that's not the word that fits, but it creates a connection to something that may not have been there originally. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
So maybe not even that it makes it feasible, but it makes it that thing. Like, okay, well, I can do it too, because it's like, you could, or you could try, but what if you didn't? Like, what if you did something else? What if you did what your niche was?
Yeah, and so what I think is transferable. Actually, I'm going to pause here. I'm going to get my charger real quick, and I'll cut it.
Why? It's not going to die. We ain't got that much time.
It is going to die.
Oh. I'm tired. I'm tired of this church. That's funny.
What did you say?
Oh, I was mocking the video.
What video?
There's that little kid that said, I'm tired of this church.
Oh. Is that the one that was all yelling?
They were shouting. And he had the phone. He was sitting down. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's funny to me. Oh, it lowered it. He said, I'm tired of this church. You look right.
It's not true. I just got out this shower.
Okay, we're back. You're gonna cut all that stuff.
Yeah. So the thing that I think is transferable, though, like regardless of industry or whatever you decide to pursue, is like discipline and consistency over time pays off. Okay. So like no matter what industry, that's what I'm talking about, loving the process in your 20s. No matter what you end up deciding to do in your 30s or 40s or 50s, you can learn skills in your 20s pursuing different passions that are applicable no matter what you end up doing. And so that's what I like. That's what I think is super important to love the process. Because like to me, it don't matter if you do YouTube or you're an aeronautical engineer. Being disciplined and consistent helps you. Like it does that doesn't hurt you. Being relational like that can only help you. Being able to collaborate well. Those are skills that are important when you talk about social media growth and stuff too, but also when you just talking about work. If you work corporate, if you never do entrepreneurship, if you're disciplined, consistent, can collaborate well, you'll be successful. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's what to me in your 20s, that's what you should be learning. All those soft skills, you should be perfecting those, because the people with the best soft skills are the people who run companies. Those are the people that are leaders in their spheres. It's not usually, and what can be frustrating sometimes is when you don't have those soft skills, but you have the expertise. Sometimes you get looked over. Sometimes you get passed over, and you feel like they're not treating you well. Like, yes, you're the smartest person in the room, but people can't talk to you without feeling dumb. Or yeah, you're the smartest person in the room, but like you're not compassionate, or you don't think ahead enough. Like, yes, you know all the past research, but you're not current. So like these are things that if you learn in your 20s, when you're ready to roll in your 30s, because we're going from the roaring 20s for Louise to the rolling 30s. And so when you're ready to roll,
that's what you believe. I would agree to that.
When you rolling in your 30s, you're not having to stop and recalibrate your character, your personhood, because you've already done that work.
That's how you think it should be.
I think
that should be the standard.
Yeah, and because this thing, if you're doing that work and you blow up in your 20s, dope. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's dope.
I wonder. I don't know. I think it's an option, but I don't know. I feel like maybe not no matter what, but I think there's like not a crisis that happens as you approach your 30s, but you kind of have differences, like different things. So if all the work you put in your 20s were getting you to a targeted goal, like the process was preparing you for whatever that end goal was, it might change.
But that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm saying the process and the soft skills matter and not the destination. Because those soft skills, the process translates no matter what the destination is.
Okay, so you're saying no matter what, there are things that translate.
Yeah. So,
but okay, I agree with that. But I also think though there are new things, because you're figuring out new things about yourself. Or with me, me being 29, like probably this last year. No, it started probably when we stayed up north. I think is when I started having thoughts and different things. But it's like you are learning more about yourself, so you would need more skills for that as well.
Like what? So like what are you saying when I talk? So I'm talking about like not destination, not end goal, process stuff. What process stuff you say you could learn in your 20s and then change and not need them?
Well, I don't know all the process stuff, because you said soft skills like communication and the people part. Yeah, so that's what I'm asking, because like you're saying those things won't matter. No, I'm not saying they won't matter. I'm saying, will there be more things to learn? I don't think you ever. Because you said like in your 30s is where you execute. But I'm saying, will there be more things to learn before you get to that step? I don't think you ever stop learning. So I think even as you're executing, even if you're executing at a high level, you're still constantly learning. So like. So I'm not saying if you spend all the time in the process in the 20s, when you get to your 30s, you know everything. I'm saying if you spend the time in the process in your 20s, when you get to the 30s, you can execute at a higher level. That's what I'm saying. But yeah, I still think you're still learning. There's still steps in whatever you choose, especially if you pivot and stuff. There's always gonna be knowledge to gain and things like that. But I think if you love the process, you'll be wise enough to not need as much time to learn those new things. And so you can shorten the learning curve if you spend time, like I said, in the process and enjoying that part of your 20s. Because quiet as cat, I mean, I think if you're 20, you don't know this, but like 20-year-olds aren't thought leaders. Like, sometimes. I mean, really never. Like they move the needle in popular culture. It's fine. It's recorded. They move the needle in popular culture, but they are not
thought leaders in the sense where like
creating new ideas.
Yeah, well, everybody's not coming to see what the 22 has to say or what the 23-year-old has to say.
But sometimes the older generation reaches back and be like, we've been out of it for a while, so what do the young people think about this? I thought you were going to say, and this is what I realized, contrary to popular opinion, you don't peak in your 20s. Well, I thought that's what you were saying.
But that's my point. Because everybody knows you don't peak in your 20s, no one is leaning into the 24-year-old to ask them to be experts on things.
See that? Like, I didn't think you would say, like when we were working in ministry in the city and people would ask you like to sit on panels and to come and talk about this, and you don't think they would have considered you a thought leader?
There's a difference between wanting to have my voice at the table and me running the table.
Oh, you're saying thought leaders run the table.
I'm saying I'm saying no one is depending on a 22 or 23-year-old to be the leader of a movement, to be a leader of like though that thing doesn't happen. And it's because you just haven't lived enough. Like just honestly, you haven't experienced enough life. Yeah. Which at 23 I didn't know that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I thought I was an expert in a lot of things, right. And now I look back and like, bro, you didn't know nothing.
Yeah, I know a little bit, but not nearly as much as I know now that I know in my 30s.
Exactly, and so
I could have learned more.
Yeah, and so I think, if you're 20, am I saying your opinion is invalid? No. What I'm saying is, listen more than you talk. That's what I'm saying. In your 20s, listen more than you talk. Research more than you do more research than you talk about being an expert. And that's in whatever it is. And it's hard for you because it is so easy to make a TikTok video. It's so easy to make an Instagram reel or a YouTube short. It's so easy to get on social media after watching one documentary and now you the resident expert. That's super easy to do. It's hard to slow down and listen to people who think differently than you. Yeah. And listen to people who thought differently than you from the past, or you know what I'm saying? Like that's really hard to do. The challenge. Exactly. That's so true. I would challenge you to do that before you consider yourself an expert on something.
That's very true. Okay. I can agree with that.
Because my thing is like even in sports, like young dudes don't win. Like in sports, like in basketball, football, whatever it is. Rookie quarterbacks, rookie point guards, they rarely win championships. It's the veterans. It's the guys in their late 20s, early 30s who win titles. And so
that's what people say. They've been here, or like I say, they've been here before.
Yeah, and that's what it is. Like in sports, you almost always have to lose.
And your composure is
before you win.
When you're older and have had that experience, I think that's true. Like you don't celebrate so easily, but you also don't call it quit so easy as well.
Exactly.
Or call a loss so easily.
Yeah, no, that's a great point.
That's true.
And so, so I mean, I think that's kind of where I'm at on that. And so, I'm super excited for my 30s. It'll take me a while longer to get there before you. Since
time comes quickly. It's literally 6 months and 5 days. Time goes very quickly. Because here we are, it's December 2021.
I'll be in my 20s much longer than you. And so I'll still be in this process while you're rolling in your 30s.
What did I say about the 20s? Broke. And what did not peaking. You want to stay there
I'm broke. Now I'm broke. Now I'm the broke 20s. Boy on the podcast.
Not peaking. What else did I say about the 20s to look forward to in the 30s? You should be looking forward to those things.
Nah, man, I'm cool. I'm gonna sit.
Yes, you are. You looking forward to those?
I'm gonna sit at 29 for a little. Being broke don't bother me none.
No, we not.
Nah.
Nigga, we might.
But no, that's.
You think you gonna be? What you gonna do in 6 months? I had a 6-month head start. You're just coming in second place. But go ahead. Sorry.
Whatever. The first you'll be last. So no,
I wasn't the first. So I guess I'm good.
No, you're the first to 30 in this room.
That's fair.
So the. Question, we got closing thoughts. Like I said, we're not gonna be here too long today.
It's been 30 minutes.
What's your closing thoughts on? Do you have anything you like to share? Anything else that you like to?
I've shared a lot.
You have. Already. That's what I'm just asking. If you have anything else
to share,
if it's nothing, it's nothing.
Enjoy your 20s. Look forward to your 30s. It's not a death of youth. Like I'm definitely in better shape, more confident. Like more of who I would have been anyway, walking into my 30s and in my 20s. So, yeah, enjoy your 20s, but look forward to your 30s for sure. That's it. I don't know what else to say.
No, that's dope. So, from roaring 20s to rolling 30s, Louise will be 30 before you see her again. So, make sure you drop a happy birthday in the comment. Show her love on her Instagram. Give her a follow. She got some new endeavors you can follow and lock in with. And I'm super excited. Yeah, I'm super excited. Links will be in the description. You know what I'm saying? Just go and click them. Give a follow. Don't forget to like, comment, and share, and subscribe. And we love y'all, man. Thank y'all so much for putting up with us. Sometimes we go MIA, but we are back.
Bye, guys. See you next time.
Peace.